All right, just remember, every time you get ready to plant, 1 spade of your compost blend into that square, mix it in, and you're good to go. Okay? The box doesn't have to be 4 by 4. It could be 4 by 8. It could be 4 by 6. It could be 3 by 6. It could be whatever. I already talked about aisles. Make sure they're at least 3 feet wide if you plant more than 1 box. I've talked about the grid a little bit. It helps you to visualize what you might want to plant. It's also very useful for companion planting. If you want to put onions with your tomato or something else, something that will repel insects, you can put flowers in here, herbs, you can mix it with your vegetables. You have any kind of combination that you want. In just a little bit, we'll walk over and look at what I've done in this one over here. Okay, for planting or harvesting, you need 3 tools. You need your spatula, you need a pencil, and you need a scissors. What the pencil is for, when you're planting 16 different crops at different times, some in the spring, some later at the beginning of the summer, maybe some in the fall, it's hard to keep track of what you've got where, especially if you put seeds in. So I like to take a piece of paper, draw a big square, and make 16 boxes, and I write in what I've got. So the pencil is to keep track of what you put where, and you can also keep that for years then, and you can always look back, okay, now a couple years ago I had something here and it did really well, and I'm going to try that again. Okay? The other thing that your pencil is for is that when you plant your seeds, some of them are so tiny. Carrots, for instance, radish seeds, so tiny. I like to plant 2 or 3 in one spot. Cover them up. Maybe they'll all grow, maybe they won't. But if you get 3 or 2 coming up in one spot, you're going to have to get rid of all but one. So don't pull it out. If you pull it out, you tear up the roots in the one that you're trying to keep. So just take your pencil, move one of those 2 plants out of the way, and then take your scissors and cut it off. Did you think I was going to cut my finger? Cut that one out. Just snip it off. And this is also your harvesting tool. If you have your edible peas, your sugar peas, sugar snap peas or whatever, don't just yank on it. Remember how easily those roots came out, the weeds came out? Well, your vegetables come out just as easily. So you want to grab your tomato and cut it off, or grab your pea pod and cut it off. This would be a very helpful tool to have. So that's the only 3 tools. Did you notice I didn't mention shovel or pick or post hole digger or hoe or rake? Just those little hand tools. And really only one of them typically is really considered a tool. Okay, and then some of you have been thinking probably, all right, now if I put tomatoes in there, I've planted tomatoes before. I know they're not going to stay in that little box. I've planted cucumbers. I know what they do. And you can't have them crawling all over and covering up the whole box. So they have to go up in the air. You're going to have some kind of vertical support. Everything I'm telling you is in this book with pictures to give you all kinds of ideas on what you might want to do. So if you are missing some of this, if you get the book, you'll refer back to it. I refer to it often. I've read it cover to cover twice. And I still, when I get ready to plant, I go to the index in the back and I look up the sections on the different vegetables to remind me how many do I put per square, what time would be the best time to plant them, because I want it to work. I want to be successful. So you're going to need some vertical support. This is a really easy way to do it. Go to a store, go to Lowe's, get a piece of 1/2-inch electrical conduit. This is metal piping and it comes 10 feet long. The piece is going to be this big, 1/2 inch. That 1/2 inch is the inside diameter of the tubing. All right? They might even cut it for you. But if you get it cut, cut a 4-foot piece off and cut a 6-foot piece off. You know what I'm going to do with this? You're actually going to need another one. So get 2 of these 10-foot pieces. Then I'm going to put a corner on it like this.